Alright, so yesterday we were discussing the OOPS concepts, and we discussed the concept of the objects, like what is an object, how do you create an object, right? And then we also discussed the concept of the static and the non-static variables and the functions, like what is a static, what is the static keyword, alright? Okay, and then like simultaneously we are working on the Selenium as well. That is, we also saw how can you configure the Selenium DLLs, okay, in your Visual Studio project, and how can you open the three browsers, the Firefox browser, the Chrome browser, and the IE browser, right? So we just discussed that yesterday. So now let us move forward with our course. Okay, now the question which arises is, everything has a driver. Firefox driver, Chrome driver, IE driver, Safari, Opera, everything has a driver. So will you be like learning these driver classes separately? If I have to say, suppose, work on the Firefox browser, will the commands and the approach be different than if I have to work on the Chrome browser? Will I have to create the objects separately, like as over here I am creating the objects separately of each and every class? So will I have to do these things again and again? What if a single script I have to run on multiple browsers? So how can you do that? That is one question which comes into our mind. So this concept, this question is addressed under the concept of interfaces. For example, say suppose if I go to a bookstore, you see the front cover and the back cover of the book, and then you judge that what this book is offering to you, right? Or if you go to a restaurant, then you just see the menu card. You don't know ultimately how it's going to taste, the food is going to taste, right? So that menu is like an interface. Right, that menu you can say is like an interface which tells you like what that menu card is offering to you, what that restaurant is offering to you, right? So similarly in the interfaces as well, the interfaces describes what project will do, what all commands and features will be there in a project. Okay, for example, if I go to the official website of Selenium, that is seleniumhq.org as well, out here, if I look into my documentation of C Sharp, API docs of C Sharp, you will see that there are many interfaces in this documentation. We have many interfaces in this documentation as well. So say suppose if I take any interface in this from this documentation, say I have this mouse interface with me, right? So mouse is an interface like which tells you, which describes the mouse functionalities. It provides various methods representing the basic mouse actions, right? The click, context click, double click. So this interface, it gives you all the functionalities. Sorry, it gives you all the functionalities which the mouse interface provides to you. Alright, okay. So, and then how these are all done, we don't know. We don't know anything. We will just be calling these functions, these methods, click, context click, double click. We will just be calling these functions, and then we will be implementing with our code. How this all is done, we don't know, and then we don't have to worry about them as well. Alright, so interface helps you know what the system does. For example, the keyboard of your system provides you an interface with the buttons. You press the buttons and something happens on the screen. How it happens internally, we don't know. Right, so this is what an interface is. And like out here we have mouse as an interface. I mouse, like in C Sharp, this is the naming convention. You put I before the name of the interface. This, like, it's just a naming convention in C Sharp, right? For the interface we like append I with the word. Alright, so interfaces, as I told you, it's like it helps you know what actually the system does. So similarly we have interfaces in C Sharp as well, right? So for what I'll do is that let me just create a new project. Okay, say I add a new console application, say day 3. Okay, so you have your project with you, and then what I will do is that, say suppose I add an interface in my project, right? So I right click, add new item, and then I will add an interface. Say I add an interface known as the phone interface. Okay, I add a phone interface. Now what all features can a phone have? So you have your interface, like we have a phone interface. Now what all features can a phone have? Say suppose a phone has the functionality of calling, right? So we have like I say I have a functionality of calling in the phone. Now in an interface has function declaration only. No implementation is there in an interface. That is one point. In an interface you only declare the functions, you do not implement those functions. That is, you will simply have to declare the call function. I cannot implement this function in an interface, right? Say suppose if I try to implement this call function, okay, and then now if I build my solution, so you see an error coming up. It says that the call interface, like in the call interface members cannot have a definition. That is, in an interface we cannot have the definition of the methods. There is only function declaration. That is, you will only have to declare the functions in your interface. So now if I build my solution again, so now the build is succeeded. Right, so that is one point in an interface. That is, an interface has function declaration only. Now say suppose I have one more property with the phone class, with the phone interface, that is the text property. That is, we have two properties with the phone offers to us, the calling and the texting property. Right, so if a layman looks at this, he will easily come to know what phone is offering to you. That is, it is offering you the functionality of calling and the texting. Right. Okay, so that is one point. In an interface we do not declare, like we do not implement the functions, we do not define the functions, right? So there is no console.writeLine statement as well in an interface. No console.writeLine, it will give you an error as we have just seen right now. Okay, and then secondly, next point is there is no public keyword in an interface. Like, you cannot declare the functions as public in an interface. So now if I build my solution, again you will get an error. It says the modifier public is not valid for this item. For this phone interface, public is not valid. That is, in an interface, like interface is public by default only. All the functions are public by default only. Public is not acceptable in an interface. You cannot declare the functions as public in an interface. You will get an error. Okay, that is, like, it is because they are public by default only. Okay, right, so that is one another point. And then thirdly, next point is no fields. You cannot declare fields inside an interface. Say suppose if I have to declare a variable, if I say declare a variable int x is equal to 8, right, and then if I build my solution, you will get an error saying interfaces cannot contain fields. That is, you cannot declare the fields inside an interface as like in class. Like in a class we can declare the variables, right? We can declare any number of variables in a class, right? But in an interface you cannot declare the fields. It is not possible in an interface. It is not there in an interface. Right, so these are the 3 points that you need to keep in mind regarding the interfaces, the three basic points. That is, the first point was, like, what was the first point? The first point was, in an interface we only declare the functions. No definition is there in an interface, right? And secondly, there is no public access specifier in an interface. It is because the functions are public by default only. Alright, and thirdly, no fields are there. You cannot declare the fields inside an interface. This is also not there in an interface. Alright, okay, so these are the 3 points. Now, so now we have an interface, phone interface with us, and then what I'll do is that, say suppose I add a new class. Okay, say I have a class known as the Nexus class with me. Okay, I add a new class, a Nexus class. Okay, now we all know that Nexus is a phone. right? Nexus is a phone, so it will also be having the functionality of calling and texting inside it, right? The Nexus phone. So what we will do is that, what we can do is that Nexus phone, since we know that Nexus is a phone, right? It is a phone, so it can simply call this interface, which have like in which we have declared the two functions, the call and the text functions. So how do you implement an interface? Like for that, what you have to do, you will simply have to implement this phone interface, right? Since we all know that Nexus is also a phone. So you put a colon and then you put the name of your interface, that is the phone interface, right? So now what is happening is the class is implementing an interface. The class Nexus is implementing a Nexus is implementing a phone interface, right? So how do? You simply put a colon and you put the name of your interface, that is the phone. All right. Now the next concept, next thing is the class must provide the implementation for that interface. Otherwise, you will get a compile time error. Now, what do I mean by that? Say if I built my solution now you get an error saying that Nexus does not implement the interface member text and Nexus does not implement the interface member call. What do you mean by that is, in an interface you are declaring the two functions, call and the text functions, right? And then in the class which is implementing that interface, that phone interface, in that class you will have to define those two functions which you have declared in your interface. Okay, so I mean to say that the class must provide the implementation for that interface which you are implementing in your particular class. Otherwise, you will get a compile time error. Right. Okay. So how will you implement this phone interface? Like, what do I mean by that? That is, we have two properties, call and the text function, right? So both the properties you will have to implement over here in the Nexus class. That is, we have public void call, okay, and then I simply say implement this call function, right? Okay, and then you simply implement this call function, and similarly we will have to implement the text function as well. Alright, so now if I build my solution, you see that now the build is succeeded. That is, the class which is implementing the interface must implement the functions as well which are there in the phone interface. Alright, okay, so this is how you implement. And then one more thing, that is, say suppose if we provide, like say suppose in the call function, if I try to provide any parameter inside it. Say if I try to provide any parameter in the call function, and then now if I build my solution, you get an error saying that the Nexus does not implement the interface member call. Now why it is saying it cannot interface Nexus class cannot implement this call interface? Now why? Yes, any one of you? Why? Now what is this error? Why is it saying? Yes.
Interface cannot consider the parameter.
Yeah.
Three conditions you said in that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is what it is. Yes, that is, in an interface we have parameterless call function, and then when you are implementing this call function, you are parameterizing it. So here the compiler gets confused that which is this call function, from where is this call function coming, which is a parameterized function. So there you will get an error. So you will have to write your code carefully, like where, like from where, how, what all functions are there and whether they are parameterized or parameterless functions. So you'll have to accordingly implement the functions in your code. Okay, so that is again one more property. Fine. Okay. Um, all right. So we have one class, we have one interface, and we have one class which is implementing that phone interface. All right. Now say suppose I have one more class with me. I add one more class. That is, say I have the iPhone class with me. Okay. So I have this class iPhone, and now we all know that iPhone is also a phone, right? So this will also have the two properties, the call and the text properties. So simply we can implement the phone interface over here as well in this iPhone class as well, right? And then obviously you will have to implement the functions which are there in the phone interface, right? In the same way like we did in the Nexus class, the same way you have to do it in the iPhone class as well. So either you can write the functions manually, or else what you can do is that when you take your mouse to this phone interface, you get this down arrow. When you click on it, it says implement interface phone. So we can simply select this, and the functions, all the functions will be implemented automatically. You just have to write your logic inside it. Okay, right? So out here, say if I give iPhone calling. Okay, and similarly I say iPhone texting. Okay, so these are the two functions which we have implemented in the iPhone class, which were there in the phone interface. Alright, so this is what it is. And then one more point which comes up is, now what we have is we have an interface with us, which is the phone interface. Alright, we have an interface which have the phone interface. Now say suppose we have two functions in the phone interface, that is the call function and the text function, right? And then we have two classes with us, right? We have two classes with us, that is we have the Nexus class and we have the iPhone class with us. Alright, so Nexus class, and then we know that these two functions, call and the text functions, will be present in the two classes as well, Nexus and the iPhone class, right? It is because Nexus is also a phone and the iPhone is also a phone, right? So these two functions are there in the Nexus class as well as in the iPhone class as well. Alright, okay. Now why are we doing all this stuff? Why are we making this, and why are we making this interface and then the classes? We can simply create the classes and work with our code. What is the basic need of this interface? We can simply you can say remove this phone interface. We can remove this iPhone, this phone interface, and simply you can create the Nexus and the iPhone class and put the functions in both the classes and work with it. Right? What is the basic usage of this interface? Why do we do it? It is because if say suppose a new class comes up tomorrow. Say we have new class coming up tomorrow, that is, say it is the Samsung class. Alright, now Samsung class will also have the function of calling and the texting. Right, Samsung is also a phone, and it will also have the functionality of calling and the texting. So now, so since it will also be having the functionality of calling and texting, so it will also implement the phone interface, right? It's like right now the Nexus and the iPhone class is implementing this phone interface. But when say suppose tomorrow Samsung class also comes up, then Samsung will also be implementing this phone interface. So now if a layman see this code, he will easily understand that these two classes are for sure there in the Samsung class if it is implementing the phone interface. So probably the implementation will be different. The implementation can be different. The way the Nexus calls, the way the iPhone calls will be different, obviously. We all know that, right? But the function names have to be same. The function names which you will be keeping in the interface, these have to be same in all the implementing classes. The implementation might differ, the logic might differ in the respective functions, but the name of the functions has to be same in the class which is implementing that phone interface, the call and the text function. Alright, okay. So similarly it's there in Selenium as well. Same is used in Selenium also, like you can see this example of the mouse interface. right? We have this mouse interface, and then the WebDriver interface. The WebDriver, which we actually use, which we will be actually using in our Selenium basics, in our frameworks. WebDriver. The WebDriver is also an interface, and all the driver classes, the Firefox driver, the Chrome driver, the Internet Explorer driver, the Safari driver, all the driver classes implements the WebDriver interface, right? We have a WebDriver interface in which we have all the classes, like all the classes, all the driver classes are implementing this WebDriver interface. All right. Okay, now like as we all know that when we say if I have this program.cs class file with me, okay, what I'll do is that, say if I add the reference of the Selenium DLLs, right? Okay, hold on. I'll just add the WebDriver DLL, okay, and we'll just explain you. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I'll just add the 2.53 DLLs in my project. Okay. Okay, so it has been added, right? And now if we like try to open the Firefox driver, then you simply call this Firefox driver class, right? And you create the object of this class. Okay, and then you open the Firefox driver. Now say suppose if you want to take it to a particular URL, then we have the URL functionality with us, with that comes with this Firefox driver class, right? And then you put the URL, that is which URL you want to go to, yahoo.com, right? And similarly, if I have to open the Chrome driver, then I will simply create the object of the Chrome driver class, okay, and you create the function of the Chrome driver class, and say suppose if you have to open like any URL for the Chrome browser as well, then for this Chrome browser also we will simply call this URL function, right? And you give the path over here. Right, so we can see over here that this URL functionality is present in the Firefox driver, in the Chrome driver, in the IE driver, rather in all the drivers. Right, so same URL function is present in all the driver classes, in both the Firefox and the Chrome driver. So how it is all happening? It is because this URL function is there in the WebDriver interface. So all the driver classes are actually implementing the WebDriver interface, because of which we are able to access the common functionalities in all the driver classes. That is this URL title, this find element, this manage, navigate. So these all functionalities we will be discussing in the course as well, right? So the main point was these all driver classes are actually implementing the WebDriver interface, because of which you are able to access some of the common functionalities, one of them being the URL functionality. Okay, so as we can all see that the APIs are inbuilt. We just need to understand that which functionality, which interface, which class has to be used where, and then you can just simply work with your code. All right. Okay, so that is what it is. Now coming towards the usage of the interface, like why are we using this interface? That is, the first point is the functions are same in all the implementing classes, right? The functions, like what all functions you declare over here in an interface, those functions will be same in the class which is implementing that interface. The functions are same, right? Okay, so that is one point. And secondly, say suppose let us understand with the help of an example. Say if I go to gmail.com. Oh, okay, okay, I'll just log out. Okay, hold on. Okay. Right, so when you open your GML account, like over here, I open the GML, and then like what is our example is, say suppose I have to go to this Gmail website and enter my username out here, and then click on this, and then click on this next button, and then you will have to run this script in all the three browsers, the Firefox, Chrome and the IE browser. This is what is your example, that is you simply go to this Gmail website, you have to enter your username and then click on this next button, and then you will have to run this script in all the three browsers. That is entering the username and clicking on the next button. You have to write the script in all the three browsers. So how will you do that? Alright, so let us see that how we can do that. So for that, what I'll do is that, say I'll add a new class and then we'll just try to work with that. Okay, say I have the Gmail class with me. Okay, and then I'll just add a main function to it. Okay. Okay, so we have this Gmail class which contains the main method. Now out here what I will do is that, say suppose I like our example is this Gmail example and I want to run the script in all the three browsers, right? So what I can do is that I will simply create, like I will simply declare a variable, say browser, and then you give it the value as, say, Mozilla, that is you want to open the Firefox browser, right? So you simply declare a variable. You can look at like out here you can give any browser you want to open. You can even give the Chrome browser or the IE browser. So according to the requirement you can give the browser name over here in the string variable. Okay, so right now I am like hard coding this browser name in my script, but as we will proceed with the course we will be actually reading this parameter from some external file, from the Excel file you can say, right? So how can you read the parameters from the Excel file also, that also we will discuss in the coming classes. Alright, so say suppose I have a string variable browser which is equated to Mozilla, that is I want to run my script in the Firefox browser, right? Okay, and then after that you can simply use the if statement. We will simply use the if statement, that is I can simply say if the browser is equal to Mozilla, then simply you will have to open the Firefox driver. Right, if the browser is equal to Mozilla, then you will have to open the Firefox driver. Okay, so you will simply create the object of the Firefox driver. Else if it is equal, else if the browser is equal to the Chrome browser, else if we equate this browser variable to Chrome, then it should open the Chrome driver, right? It should open the Chrome driver. We will open the Chrome driver, right? Else you can say that, else if the browser is equal to IE browser, else if the browser variable is equated to IE, then you will have to open the Internet Explorer driver, right? So we'll simply create the object of the IE browser, that is Internet Explorer driver, and then like you will have to set the path as well. Okay, so this is what, like you can simply put the if else statements. If the browser is equal to Firefox, if it is equal to Mozilla, then simply open the Firefox browser. Else if it equals Chrome, then you simply open Chrome browser. Else if it equals IE, then you open the IE browser. Right, and then how will you go to the URL? So first of all we will be opening the particular browser, and then after opening the browser you will have to go to this Gmail link, right? So for that, like what you will do, you will simply, like in each if statement, you will simply first of all open the browser and then you will simply fire the URL function that you will have to go to the Gmail website. Right, and similarly we'll see, like if we are opening the Chrome browser, then cd.url has to be it has to be gone to the gmail.com website, right? And then similarly for the IE browser as well, ie.url is equal to, we set it to gmail.com. Right, okay, right, and same for the username as well. Same we will be doing for the username as well. That is, we have to enter the username and then click on the next button. So in each and every if statement, like what you can see, we, like we are trying to write the same code in each and every if statement, that is this URL functionality. And then next for the URL, entering into the username field as well, we will be doing the same stuff, right? In each and every if statement, we will be trying to first of all find this username text field, and then we'll try to type into this username text field, and then simply and similarly for the clicking on this next button as well. So this means writing again and again the same set of lines. The same set of lines writing again and again in each and every if statement. For every browser. For every browser you are trying to write the same lines again and again. Right. So this doesn't solve our problem. So how it is solved? This problem is solved by the concept of interfaces. By the concept of interfaces. So how it is solved? Let us see that first. Alright, so first of all now let us come back to our example, the phone example, and then we will implement it in this Gmail example as well. Alright, okay. So we have this phone interface and the two classes, Nexus and the iPhone class, which is implementing that interface. So like everybody got the problem. What is our problem? The problem that we are trying to do with is, I want to open the browser, right? I want to open any particular browser of my need and only work on that browser itself and make the code in a more efficient way. Right, so that is what is our problem, right? So coming back to our phone example, let's say suppose I add new one more class, say test phone. Okay, I have this class, a test phone class with me. Okay, and over here I just create a main function. Okay, so you have your phone interface and the two classes, Nexus and the iPhone class, right? Now in the main method of the test phone class, what I'll do is that say suppose I create the object of the phone interface, right? So phone P is equal to new phone. I try to create the object of this phone interface. Now you get an error. You see that this red line coming before this phone, the error says cannot create an instance of the interface phone. That is, so in rule number 1, you cannot create the object of an interface. You cannot create the object of an interface. Interface is nothing. It is just a skeleton. No implementation is there in an interface. We are doing nothing inside an interface. We are just declaring the functions. We are just giving the functions. We are doing nothing inside an interface. So what is the need of creating the object of an interface? Since we will not achieve anything by creating the object of an interface, this phone interface, because functionality is actually there in the classes only. Right? You are writing the logic, you will be writing the logic in the functions where you are implementing those functions, that is in the classes. In the interface, we are not doing anything. We are doing nothing inside an interface. So what is the need of creating an object then of an interface? Right? So this is the rule number 1, that is you cannot create an object of an interface, since you will not achieve anything by creating the object of an interface. Right, rather what you can do is that you can simply create the object of the implementing classes. You can create the object of an implementing classes, right? Since in the classes only we are doing the logic, we are writing the logic. Okay, and similarly for the iPhone class as well, we will create the object of the iPhone class only. We will not create the object of the interface. Okay, right. So now if I run my script, say I'll just comment the two main functions which are not required by us. Okay, and similarly in the program.cs class file as well, over here also. Okay, and then fine. So if I try to build my solution, the build is succeeded and I run it. Okay, I didn't write console.read key. Hold on, I'll just write console.read key so that we can just read our output, right? And then now if I run it, you see that, okay, hold on. Okay, it's not printing anything. Hold on. Okay. Yes, anybody? Why it's not printing anything? Yes. Sorry?
We are not calling the function.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. So we are not calling the functions. I just created the objects. I'm not calling any of the functions, right? So I say suppose I call the call and the text function of the iPhone class, right? And similarly, if I call the call and the text function of the Nexus class as well, right? And then now if I run it, you see that it prints the functionalities of the respective classes, right? Okay, so fine. Now so like you create the object of the implementing classes. Now say suppose we have a unique feature in the Nexus class, one more feature in the Nexus class, that is say the Google features class, Google features functionality. So say suppose I have one more functionality which is there in the Nexus class, that is of the Google features, which this Nexus class provides, right? So you can simply create this function in the Nexus class, and then say suppose I print anything over here. Alright, okay, and then now if you try to call this Google features function from the Nexus class, you will be able to easily able to access this Google features function, and you'll get the output as well, right? But then if you try to open with this iPhone class, you will not get this functionality, right? Since this function is only present in the Nexus class only, it's not there in the iPhone class. You'll not be able to access this Google features functionality from the iPhone class since it is not there. So I meant to say that in the class, it's not like that what all functions you have in the interface, those functions only has to be implemented in the class. It's not like that. This Nexus class can have its own functionalities as well. The iPhone class can have its own functionalities as well. So it is compulsory that you have to implement all the functions which are there in the interface, plus the additional properties, its own properties as well can be performed, can be implemented in the class as well, right? Like we did in the case of the Nexus class. This Nexus phone was also having the functionality of Google features. So we just wrote this function and we are able to access this Google features function from the Nexus class. So that is again a one more point, right? So that is what it is. So in this what we are doing is that we are simply creating the object of the implementing class and not the interface, right? Okay, or else out here you are simply creating the object of the two classes, the Nexus and the iPhone class, okay? And then you can create the object of these classes in one more way, that is I say we have an interface, phone interface, right? Say I say phone P is equal to new Nexus. Now by this way also you can create the object of the Nexus class. So out here what we are doing is that I am saying interface, phone is an interface reference is equal to, you are creating the object of the implementing class. New, you are creating the object of the implementing class, right? Okay, so that is one way. That is another way how you can create the object of the Nexus class. Over here we are not creating the object of the phone interface, we are creating the object of the Nexus class. I told you in the first class, or I think yesterday, that by this new keyword you create the object. So over here you are saying new nexus. That means you are creating the object of the nexus class, not the interface phone. Right? Okay, so you can create the object of the two classes in this way as well. So now what is happening in the memory is that we have this nexus class, right? We have this nexus class, and then now P is the reference, right? I told you yesterday as well, P is the reference. So P is now pointing towards the nexus class, which is of the type phone. This P is of the type phone, which is referencing towards the object of the nexus class. This is your nexus class. Right? Okay. All right. So this P object, this P reference is actually pointing towards the object of the nexus class. Okay, so reference is of the phone interface. It's not of the nexus type. It is of the phone interface. Right. Now, like out here also we are creating the object of the nexus class, and over here as well we are creating the object of the nexus class. Then what is the difference between these two ways? What is the difference between these two ways? We can create the object like over here in this way also. Then why are we creating it by this? There might be some difference only, right? So the basic difference between two of them is, with this way, with the first way, if you create the object like if you create the object like this, then you can, like, you are able to access all the functionalities which are there in the nexus class. You can call all the functions of the nexus class. But if you are creating the object of the nexus class in this way, then now you cannot call the Google features class, which is also there in the nexus class. You cannot call this, but you can call the call and the text function. No doubt you can call the call and the text function, but you cannot call the Google features function, which is also there in the nexus class. You cannot call this Google features function. Alright, so this is the major difference between the two ways how you create the object of the nexus class. That is, only you can call those functions only which will be there in the interface. You cannot call the extra functionality which you have implemented in the implementing class. Alright, okay, so that is what it is. Okay, and similarly we can even create the object of the iPhone class as well in this way, new iPhone. Okay, and with this P1 you will be able to call the call and the text function. So now P1 is pointing towards the iPhone class, right? So it will simply call the call and the text function of the iPhone class. This iPhone class, iPhone calling and iPhone texting. Okay, alright. Or else what you can do is that we can simply, like the same reference only, I say phone P2 is equal to say null. Okay, and then P2 is equal to new nexus. Okay, the same reference object is calling, like is pointing towards the phone. It is pointing towards the iPhone class as well. So according to your requirement, like it's completely your choice how you create the object of the classes. Okay, so based on your requirement you can just simply create that. Okay, so this is how you do that. Yes,
The last statement, P2 equal to new nexus, and then P2 is new of iPhone,
yes,
which means at last the P2 is pointing to iPhone only, so it will print only the console of which is referred in
iPhone.
iPhone,
Yes,
right?
yes, yeah. It will only print the iPhone
It
function.
will never print. It will never print the nexus
No,
because we declared the iPhone afterwards.
yes, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, okay, so it is it, right? All right, so this is the phone example. Now coming back to our problem which we were discussing, the Gmail example, right? Okay, Alright, so over here also, now what we can do is that this redundant code we were like what I was saying in like just a few minutes before, fd.url, cd.url, ie.url, and same will go with the element, the username like extraction as well. We will have to extract the first of all the username text field, right, and then we'll have to type into it. So the same thing we will be doing in each and every if statement. Right. So how to prevent that, how to remove this redundancy is that what we can do is that we can simply remove this if else code. We can simply remove this if else code, right? And then what we can do is, now we all know that WebDriver is an interface. I told you, right? We have seen that WebDriver is an interface, and all the driver classes are actually implementing this WebDriver interface only. Alright, so simply what we can do, I can simply have this WebDriver interface with me. So this WebDriver, it comes under openqa.selenium, right? We'll have to include the reference to it, and then I equate it to null, right? And then you put the if statement. You say that if the browser, if it is equal to Mozilla, then the driver will be equal to new Firefox driver. The Firefox browser will get opened up, right? All right, okay. And then else if the browser, if it is equal to Chrome, then the same driver object will be pointing towards the Chrome driver now, right? Okay. And else if the browser is equal to IE, then the driver will be now pointing towards the Internet Explorer driver, right? Okay, so it will be pointing towards the this respective browser, right? And then in the end you can simply say driver.url is equal to, you can simply give your URL, gmail.com. Okay, so as we all know that all the driver classes have this URL functionality, right? So according to the browser information, it will first of all open the particular browser, and then it will come to this statement, it will go to this URL, and then after that you can simply extract your username text field and then click on this next button. All right. Okay, so like we can change this browser name as well. So let us see if I comment this main function of the test phone class. Okay, and now if I run it, that is right now what I am doing, I am simply opening the browser and then taking to the URL. Okay, okay, it opens the Firefox browser and driver.url is gmail.com. Okay, okay, hold on. If I debug this, okay, so it opens the Firefox browser and it's not debugging. Hold on. Like we have this URL. Actually, the browser problem might be there because like yesterday I had installed the latest Firefox browser 51 and 2.53 is actually stable with Firefox 40. Yeah, so that is what it is. Okay. Okay, so it is opening. Yeah, so that is the problem with the Firefox browser only. Okay, so
Can you repeat what's the problem? Because today when I was trying to open a Firefox, I got the same error,
okay,
and then
yes.
afterwards in reference, manage you get manage right? So in that I included Selenium Firefox driver, then the issue got solved.
Then the issue got resolved.
Yeah, here in the reference,
Yes.
uh,
Manage NuGet
add
packages.
get yeah.
Yeah.
There I included Selenium Firefox driver.
Okay, I got your point. Yeah. I think the problem is because of the Firefox version because 2.53 like which Selenium version are you using?
Mm, I don't know
Okay. Like
how to find out.
I told you in yesterday's class like
Yeah, same one. Whatever you said, I downloaded the same.
okay.
It was not working.
Oh,
Then I went to the reference instead of downloading it, I just referenced it using the
okay.
option.
All right. Like we have many versions of the Selenium 2.53 has also 3 have just introduced, and as I told you in yesterday's class as well that the latest version is having bugs inside it, right? So because of which we use the previous version, that is 2.53 version. All right, and then the 2.53 Selenium version is actually stable with the Firefox 40. With the Firefox 40 it is more stable, right? So just keep in mind, like please do with this only Firefox 40 and 2.53 Selenium version. And if you are using like any other version of the Firefox or whatever it is, I think the error is because of the Firefox version, because yesterday I installed the latest version of the Firefox in my system. Okay, and then like I'll have to uninstall it first. Okay, if we can see in the class. It will take some time, 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so you see that I have now 51 version of the Firefox on my system. Okay, it will ask me to close the browsers. And then I have the previous version. Okay, so here I have the Firefox 40 setup. Okay, so it has been uninstalled. No. Sorry. Yeah, so now if I just try to install the 40 version of the Firefox. Okay, so it has been installed, right? Here it is. Fine. Okay, and then now I have my C# script. Alright, so I'll just build my solution. Fine. And now if I run it, okay, so it is debugging your code. I press